Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this preview edition of Steps Edit Podcast. I am so excited that you all decided to join me on today. First and foremost, before we get into this exciting news, Merry Christmas from my family, from the Steps Edit Podcast. Merry Christmas from my family to yours. I hope that this Christmas has been eventful. This Christmas has been full of fun, laughter, enjoyment. I hope this Christmas has brought you much joy, very little stress. I understand sometimes when you're dealing with the holidays and people have a tendency to fall into the holiday blues, if you've lost a loved one and all of the things that come around this time. And I definitely understand it because I have been in and at times I am in that space myself. And so I just want to encourage each and every one of you to cherish the memories, make new memories, um, and just know that all is well. All is well. So again, I'm very excited that you all have decided to join me on today. This is a very impromptu um, podcast today. I've been working really hard on pulling content together, and I wanted everything to be picture perfect, and I wanted everything to be spot on, and I wanted everything to be great. And I've been playing around with scripts, and I've been sending those scripts to people, asking people if they would edit them and give me their suggestions and give me all that because I wanted everything to be perfect. And then I came to a realization that it won't be. And the very nature of what this podcast is going to be, this podcast is going to be authentic. This podcast is going to be real. This podcast is going to be genuine. And this podcast is going to be at times unpolished. And so I did not want to miss this opportunity. Um, and again, as you all are coming in the room, please, let me know who you are, where you're watching from. I am really excited about this. One of the huge things is I'm actually podcasting. I'm broadcasting on three separate platforms. So right now we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are on Instagram. So if you are not following me across all social media platforms, you can follow me at Steps At It across all Steps At It on Facebook, Steps At It on Instagram, Steps At It on Snapchat, Steps At It on YouTube, Steps At It on I'm missing one. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. That's the one I missed. I am on TikTok. There is very little content on all of these pages right now, but we are working on it. We are growing content as we speak. So again, I wanted to jump on and just kind of uh, greet you all, share my heart, share my thought, let you all know what will be coming up in the new year. And so I've been talking to some of you, and some of you are aware as to what is going on and what I've been doing. And so I wanted to go ahead and just jump on in there and we're gonna grab this bull by the horns and we're gonna take it on down. I have a very good friend of mine. He always says, and I've been knowing him, his name is Maximus Wright. Uh, he's an amazing guy. Hopefully, if I talk real nice to him, maybe he'll be on my show one day. But uh, three three tenets that he has lived by is start where you are, use what you have, and finish what you start. And so again, I wanted all of this to be polished and clean and perfect and all of that. We're just gonna start. So with that being said, let me give you a little bit of insight as to what we are doing. This is the Step Set It podcast. And any of you who know me, you know if you ask me, I will tell. And so what I'm asking everyone to do is submit your letter, submit your topics, submit your suggestions, anything that you want discussed. If you want personal advice, want advice about life, if you want advice about relationships, if you want just personal development, submit those letters. If there's a topic that you want to know my opinion on, submit those topics. If there is just something that you just want to say and you want to get it out, submit your topics. Uh, I am here to create a platform where we are all able to share our thoughts, ideas, our principles in a place that is free uh, for open discussion. Now, understand there will be some things that will be said on this podcast that you may not agree with. And I hope your not agreeing with me will not turn you off from my channel. But there will be some things that may be said that you may not agree with. But if you ask me, I will tell you. So if you do not want my position, and if you do not want to know how I feel about it, then you may want to reserve sending those burning questions to me. However, I am open to discuss any of your thoughts, your suggestions, but I want to hear from you. So first thing, again, the whole point of the Steps At It podcast is to get your input and to get your information. And so you can send me those email submissions to stepsaidit@gmail.com. That's stepsaidit@gmail.com. Now, there is a website that is in works. Thankfully, I already own the domain, so soon you will be hearing from StepSetIt. It's www.stepsetit.com. That's www.stepsetit.com. Um, and so we definitely want your submissions, we want your ideas, we want your thoughts. I want to engage with you. Um, this is a new venture for me on the electronic side or the podcast side, but for those of you who know me, you know I am very opinionated and I have a lot to say, and I have no problem saying that. So, again, invite you to come and be a part. As you can see, I am the host of Step Set It, and I am also the resident expert, meaning you're on this platform and you're asking for my opinion. Now, you're asking for my opinion. Now, what you do with that, the Step Set It podcast, nor myself personally, Stephen B, I'm not responsible for any outcome that you may experience. However, again, if you ask, I'll tell you. This is gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna laugh. Uh, some of my responses, some of my comments will be very sarcastic. Most of you know sarcasm is my second language, and I speak it very fluently. Some of my comments will be inspirational. Some of my comments will be somewhat controversial. Some of my comments will just be flat out ratchet. But again, if you ask me, I'll tell you. So I do ask, in addition to everything else, that you go and follow me across social media platforms. Again, I am on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, and I am step set it across all platforms. And so please take this time to like, share, follow, comment. Again, if you have suggestions, if you have posts, if you have things that you want me to discuss, feel free to send those to me. And another little banner right there. I am liking the fact that we're able to make this look really professional. I am trying out sound equipment. We're working on cameras, doing backdrops, the whole 9, because I want this to be good. I want this to be, not just visually pleasing, but I also want this to be verbally pleasing. I want the audio and the video to line up. Um, so the other thing, if you are a business owner, and you would like to uh, be promoted on our platform, you can do that. I have some promotions that I am going to be officially launching at the beginning of the year. However, I will give you some previews as to what we will be doing. Um, uh, we have 3 levels of sponsorships that you can come in. Level 1 is very simple. For the cost or the donation of $2.24. Again, that's right, $2.24. That gives you a level 1 sponsorship. Now, what a level 1 sponsorship gives you is a mention in the podcast, meaning at some point during the podcast, I will say, "This podcast is brought to you by," and I will mention all of the level 1 sponsors. That's $2.24. Now, I'm gonna pause right there because I do wanna give you the significance of these numbers. The $2.24 is because the first official podcast will launch in February of 2024, okay? The first official podcast. This is just my preview. This is if you're familiar with anything retail world, you know you have a grand opening and then you have a soft opening. Well, this is my soft opening, and so this is where I am testing out equipment, and I am, giving it a really dry run through to see how this goes. I'll go back and watch it to hear how it sounds, and then we're going to build on this. We're going to build on this foundation. So this is where we're starting. Okay, level 1, $2.24. $2.24 gives you a mention on the podcast. So then we have 2024, which is $20.24. Now for $20.24, you get a mention as well as you get a 5 to 10 second blurb, so to speak, in the middle of the podcast. So it'll go something like this. I'll be in the middle of the podcast, and then we'll say, "We'll be back after this message." Then we'll pause, and we'll say, "This podcast has been brought to you by," and then we'll give you your 5 to 10 second blurb there in the commercial. That's where we can talk about your taglines. We can talk about the services that you offer and your contact information if they want to get in contact with you. So again, level 1, $2.24 gives you a mention. Level 2, $20.24 gives you a actual spot in the show. Okay. So then we have level 3. Level 3 is really special because that is $208.24. Now, why so high? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. So for $208.24, the significance of that number is my birthday is February the 8th. So you get it 2/8/24. Now it's interesting because I had viewers until I started talking about money. I'm okay because this is the wonderful thing. Whether we get sponsors or we don't, I am going to still do this podcast and I'm still going to invite you all to engage with me on this podcast. But I also know being a church boy, I know as soon as you start talking money, people be like, "Oh, he just want money. I'm finna go." And it's okay. I do know that I do have some supporters who are going to take part in this venture with me, and I'm excited about it. And for those of you who you just wanna come on and watch and see what happens, I encourage you to just come on and watch and see what happens. This is not pay-per-view. So you can come on, you can join for free, you can listen for free, you can watch for free, you can comment for free, can engage for free. You can do all of those things. Even your submission, you can send all of those submissions to me free of charge. No problem. Now, with that being said, let me go back to the level 3, the level 3, sponsor with the level 3 sponsorship, you will get not only will you get, a mention and you get, the you'll get the mention, then you'll get the comments in the middle of the show, but you will also get a commercial at the beginning and the end of the show. This is where I will sit down and we will sit down and talk about your ideas. We will sit down and talk about your business, and we will pull all of that together and create a 15-second commercial that will run at the beginning and at the end of the podcast. Now, how this all comes into play, again, the first episode will drop in February. So if you take any of these sponsorship levels, you a part of the first you will be a part of the first month. So all of these specials for level 1 and level 1, you will be mentioned in a podcast, and I will make sure to communicate with you to let you know which podcast to communicate. Level 2, which is the $20.24, you will get mentioned in podcast, and you will get, commercial not a commercial, you'll get, mentioned in 2 podcasts, and you will get a commercial break, so to speak, um, in 2 podcasts. But if you do the $208, the level 3, you will be covered for the entire month of February, possibly on into the month of March. You will get oh, this is the other fun thing, hold on. Not only will you get a mention, but you will also be branded. It just came up right oh, it's on that side. It just came right there. There it is, right there. So, you will also get, you will have your logo branded throughout the podcast. Additionally, you will get fun things like stickers that will play during the show, like let me get this and so these are all of the things that you will get in addition to, um, the other things that you get in level 1 and level 2. Now, I'm not doing this for the purposes of making a lot of money. The biggest thing that I'm trying to do is grow the platform. That's what I'm trying to do. And so in growing the platform, I encourage you all to, again, like, share, subscribe, follow, comment. I'm open to all suggestions, anything that I can do to make this podcast better, anything that I can do to make this podcast more exciting, anything that I can do to make this podcast more inviting for people to get involved. I am open. See, these are the things that I need to know. Thank you, sir. You- Oh, my brother from another mother, my man, 50 grand, Justin, he just messaged me to let me know that my audio is choppy. So those are things that I need to work on. Now, I hope I have not been talking for 20 minutes with choppy audio. I really hope we didn't do that. We may be doing this preview again for New Year, but we will see how it goes. But once again, this is the Aesthetic Podcast. This is a very dry run. Um, I ran out here this particular time and I decided to do it live. Um, my podcasts coming up will all be pre-recorded so that there are certain things that we can offset and delete with things like that audio, because it's certainly not product that we put out there. So again, I want to thank you all for tuning tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in. I am going to sign off. I said I was going to give myself about 20 minutes to do this. So again, I encourage you, please feel free, like, share, subscribe. I am Step Set It across all platforms. I am Step Set It across all social media platforms. So like, share, subscribe, follow, engage, invite. Again, I invite you all to come and be a part of the podcast. You can do so by submitting your topics, your questions, your anything that you want discussed. You can submit those to me here at stepsedit.com. Stay tuned because our website will be launching soon. I am hoping to have the website launched by the time we drop our first episode. Uh, stay engaged, stay tuned. We'll start talking about, start doing a lot more advertising about our first episodes. We'll be doing a lot of advertising and creating buzz because I want you all to be a part. So that's all the time that I have today. Once again, Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you for you into the podcast. Thank you for you who have watched. So let me know. Give me your feedback. Tell me how it looks, how it sounds. Tell me what I can do better. Tell me, bro, all out in left field. You don't need to do it at all. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop, but I still encourage that feedback. But I do want your input. Thank you so much for taking your time. Please enjoy your family, enjoy your friends. Know that I love you and Jesus loves you. And if anybody asks you where you get your information from, you know what to tell them. Step said it. Y'all have a good night.